October the 13th through to the 21st is the period of the main program, Patia and into Split. Great ease of travel. If you're all American, even if you've got a couple of Canadians here, no visas are required. Croatia is a member of the European Union. So as soon as we arrive in Europe, we get a stamp in our passport, good for 90 days. Let's just remember not to overstay our welcome. 90 days is what we get. Okay, so it's nice and easy. Yes, we need a passport, but that's really it. Croatia is always, and I'm very frank, even though we're in New York, it's not the easiest place to get to, but I guarantee once you're there, it is well worth it. And it is one of the most attractive and most popular destinations in 13 and 14 for American travelers. So it's great to be here. But we're going to head out and see the program from our chairs here at the college. You're going to find, yes, we're in the Mediterranean. We've got beautiful little villages, hilltop fortified towns, stone buildings and walkways throughout. We've got history spanning centuries, as I mentioned. We've got the Venetian Empire, the Roman Empire, the Austro-Hungarian Empire, the Turkish Empire. All this region has been occupied by many groups of people over the centuries. It's also great food. People find that some of the best pizza, and I usually can put some money on this, the best pizza anywhere in the world is going to be in Opatija and in Croatia as you go down to Split. But there's seafood, of course. It is a coastal nation. There are more islands in Croatia than anywhere else in Europe. But there's also meats, chicken, pork, beef as well on the program. Great wines. If you don't know about the wines, go to the local wine merchant, maybe Bevmo might have some, but start sampling some of the Croatian wines and prepare for your adventure whilst there. Importantly, it is a member of the European Union, so you've got a warm and inviting, friendly people. You'll be open-heartedly welcomed to Croatia upon arrival in Zagreb. Zagreb Airport is a small airport, even though it's the biggest airport in the country. I think right now, the entire nation is about just under 4 million people. Just not a big country, not a high population, yet they have one of the best soccer teams in the world. I can't figure that one out. But they work hard at it. Day one will have us leaving and flying overseas. It's an overnight flight. There are no non-stop flights from New York into Zagreb or Croatia, so we're going to have to go through a gateway city to change planes to get to Zagreb. I'll be in Croatia. I live on the west coast. I'll be in Croatia on the April the 4th. And I have from the west coast, I have to take 3 flights. I have to go to a US gateway, to a European gateway into Zagreb. So it takes a little bit longer for me. But it is, as I said, well worth it. And day 2, somewhere around about 1 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, welcome to Croatia. Yes, as soon as we arrive, you'll be met by our tour director who will be on the program all the way through with you, and our drivers. And again, our drivers, unless you upset them, will be with you all the way throughout the program. Modern air-conditioned motor coaches, high visibility windows, reclining seats, air conditioning and heat. And from Zagreb, the emphasis is not to stay in Zagreb. We'll be stopping at the getting off the plane, getting on the bus, and heading through low farming lands, up into the mountains, some wooded areas, and then through various tunnels. And then lastly, there's one long tunnel that we go through the mountains, and this is the site, or this is the view that we get to see as we see the Quarner Peninsula. On your last day, you may know how to say a lot of these words, but it's an easy language to speak. Once you're there, and our tour directors will be assisting you on how to speak. But here we're looking at the Croatia Bay, and Opatija is right in that section. And welcome to Opatija. Opatija is an Austro-Hungarian resort. It was built during Austro-Hungarian times. Franz Joseph had a villa here, an opulent villa. You'll find opulent villas, and the architecture is spectacular. Here's the main beach area. Now, the resort town back in Austro-Hungarian times, it wasn't all about medicine and drugs. It was about fresh air, walking and exercising. And it still is that today in Opatija. So you'll find there is a walking path. Depends where you are, but it goes 7 kilometers, if you wish to, from the village of Loran to the village of Volosko. Roundabout from Opatija, it's about 3 kilometers to Volosko and 4 to Loran. Great thing to do in the evening. You'll find bars, restaurants, shops, and such things as that as you're wandering around. And here we can see some of the nice architecture there. First night, a night to relax, dinner's included that evening, and then rest up, maybe head out to try some of those Croatian wines, maybe a slivovitz or a rakia. And then day 3, we're on our first included tour. And here we are in Opatija. It's not a big place. And again, it was built for wellness. So there's botanical gardens, small harbors and ports that you wander through. And here we can see the architecture itself. Now, you really can't see it from this, but I'm going to try and point it out on one of these. Yeah. So as you see this underneath the trees here, that's a walkway. That walkway, this is part of the what's called Lungomare. This is the walking path that takes you all the way around, past the botanical gardens, and ends up in Volosko over there. It's also, this is, if anybody that's been to Hollywood and you've seen the stars on the floor in Hollywood, there's the stars of Croatia here. So there's famous basketball players, you probably know a lot of those. If you follow basketball, there's a lot of composers. Nikola Tesla, point of contention, they say that he invented electricity. There's the gentleman who invented the tie and lots of other things that are all there on the promenade there. But we'll continue along the Lungomare, again, the coastal path. We'll see the Lady and the Seagull, which is Opatija's emblem, which we're looking at here, looking back across to some of the hotels. We'll head into the botanical gardens. Again, this was a place that was to relax, to take it easy, to live life and get well. So here we are in the botanical gardens, and here we are downtown. No matter where you are in Opatija, it's easily walkable. Restaurants, bars, shops, and such things as that are all easily accessible. We'll continue along that Lungomare, pick the bus up at the port. Nothing too strenuous in a walking scenario. Nothing too many steps and such as that. And after that, we'll continue on to Mošćenica. Mošćenica is a quintessential Istrian, northern Croatian hilltop village. At its heyday, I think there was about 250 families that lived here. Right now, there's only about 75, and you'll see in a moment why everybody left, because everybody knows each other's business. No secrets here, no secrets at all. We'll wander through its narrow cobbled streets. We'll see its main old water supply, which has a great story attached to it. We'll go into the church itself, and we'll see spectacular views from all the way from the mainland across to the island of Kirk, island of Sres, and the Croatia Peninsula. That afternoon, we'll come back to Opatija, take it easy, maybe, just relax and take a park bench in the main harbor of Opatija, and take it easy. Day 4 will be upon us before we know it. And as I forgot to mention, I do go through the program relatively briefly, because again, there's so much in this program. We'd still be speaking about the program tomorrow if we went into depth. And again, don't forget at the end, if you've got any questions you need, please let me know. So this day is a free day, but if you sign up before March the 29th, this tour is included. But if you don't do that, well, you could walk to Lovran, which we're looking here. This is the end of the walking path on the opposite direction. But yes, if you do sign up before March the 29th, this is an early bird discount tour. It's $129 normally, but it's free of charge. And we're going to be heading down the Croatia Bay and the peninsula over to Plumin and arriving into Pula. And here we are in Pula. Roman ruins, the Roman Empire was everywhere during here. And here we're looking at the amphitheater, which I think there's 6 left in the world. And this is a spectacularly preserved example of it. I actually, two years ago, I actually saw a gladiator fight in here because there was an MMA fight being held inside here. So they bring chairs in, you sit on the old bleachers and watch those games. But today we'll be learning a little bit about the Colosseum. We'll be going inside the Colosseum, and here you can see some of those bleachers, but in that center, that's where the stadium was for the fighting when I was there. We'll also go underneath into the catacombs where the animals and gladiators and fighters would be waiting for their performance time. We'll continue on into downtown Pula, and here we've got the Roman Gate, and we'll have a little bit of free time before continuing on into Istria. And here we're looking at Istria, a typical view of Istria. Istria is known for 2 major things. One of them is called it's the green gold and the black gold. Now, the green gold is olives, the black gold is truffles. There's many people made much money with a pig or a dog in this area. Truffles is very expensive for those people who know about it. And this area is known for truffles. But we're going here today to learn a little bit about olives and olive oil. If you've traveled with me before, you know of this. So we have something called our journey of discovery. Our journey of discovery is designed to learn something about the area that you may never get to see. Anybody can see Opatia, anybody can go to Pula or Ravine, but we're going to take you to a family-run olive crushing plant. We'll learn about olives, we'll learn about the organic olives, because this area is known for its organic olives. We'll do some tastings. You'll be able to find out about fake olive oil and the mafia that's involved with olive oil production worldwide, which is really, really interesting. But meet people up close. I apologize, I forgot another one. In Moschenitsa, in that village, we go to the oldest olive press in the country. We don't go there for the olive press. We're going to do a real one later on. We go there to taste the rakia and the slivovitz, that really strong alcohol. Be careful with the steps when you're leaving. Right? Whenever possible, we always have a bit of alcohol on our journey of discovery. It always goes down really well. But here we are as we look along the Istrian coastline, and here we've got the olives. And we'll be learning a little bit about those olives, and again, the qualities and what makes good olives, what gives the green taste, the cut grass taste, and the pepper taste. Go home today, and if you don't get green grass or pepper from the virgin olive oil in your pantry, it might not be real. Okay? So keep that in mind. Continuing on, we're going to go to Ravine. Ravine is spectacular. It is, yes, well preserved. It's a living museum or a living monument to the Venetian times. This was a main trading area for the Venetian nation, which is just across the bay. And you can see that tower. Remember that tower? Because we're going to see the one in St. Mark's in a minute. We're going to arrive, there's two ports. There's one port on the, I have to think about this, on the south side and one on the north side. We'll arrive at one of those, wander up to the church at the top, and wander down the other side to the secondary harbour, where we'll have a little bit of free time to get some lunch. Great gnocchi, great pastas, great pizzas, all there on this particular quayside here, where you can watch the fish swim in the clear ocean and such things as that. Come back to Opatia that evening, relax, take it easy. Yeah. Go for a wander down that Lungomare. There's a couple of great bars that you can get all sorts of wonderful things at. Some of the greatest cream cakes, fresh cream with like a custard underneath with puff pastry on either side. Great stuff. Now, I always talk. Tell us. It's the mic drop. Day 5, we have now a day when you wander, take it easy. Or this here is an optional tour to Venice. We are in the European Union in Croatia. We'll pass through a very brief place of Slovenia into Italy. So no borders, no passport controls. Off we go without any borders, arriving from Opatia to Venice. And we'll just leave Croatia behind and arrive into Italy and welcome to Italy. We'll be arriving at the Tronchetto car park, which is on the mainland. It's where we all, whether it's a car, whether it's a coach, that's where your journey ends. From there, we arrive on a Vaporetto. The Vaporetto is the public bus. And why do we do that? Well, first of all, it's a floating bus. We do that because the Vaporetto is allowed to go down the Grand Canal. And it's such a fabulous thing to see the Grand Canal with all those opulent palaces, the architecture down either side. We go underneath the Rialto Bridge and arrive into St. Mark's. And now you can see how this area is like Venice. The Istrian Tower, take a look at that, virtually identical, except it doesn't have the green dome. We're looking at the bridge of Sight, sorry, not the bridge of Sight, we're looking at the Doge Palace and St. Mark's. We'll be picking up a specialized Venetian guide here, who's forgotten more about Venice than we'll ever remember, and you'll have your Croatian guide along with you too, who's forgotten more about Croatian than we'll ever remember. So you've got a lot of people to help you out on this program. And we'll be having a guided tour around St. Mark's, around some of the areas. If you wish, you can take a gondola ride whilst here. Our tour director will be able to assist you with getting a gondola ride. We just can't guarantee the quality of the singing. But great, after that, some free time, take it easy, maybe buy one of those Venetian masks or some Murano glass. We'll be coming back to Opatia that evening. Now, the next day, we've got another full day tour, day 6. So really, if you sign up before March the 29th, there's only one optional tour on the program. So, but this is our next day. It is the island of Kirk. That's in James T. Kirk of the Scottish Enterprise. So just named spelled a little differently. But you can see K-R-K, Kirk. It's the way you speak Croatian the read Croatian is the way that it's written. So it's really, really easy. We're going to go through Rijeka, or Fiume, as it was called during the Italian occupation, and you'll see the grandeur of the entire area. Here's the Opera House in Rijeka, and then after that we'll continue over the main bridge onto the island of Kirk. The island of Kirk is the biggest island in Croatia, and it's known for many things: pilgrimages, wines, cheeses, meats, and also the Kushlion Monastery. We'll be coming off of our boat, jumping on a small boat and going across the Kushlion It's a Benedictine monastery. It's a nice little boat ride to get on the water, go across to the monastery, walk through to the monastery itself. We'll have a little guided tour. There's an unusual little museum there before coming back and continuing on to Kirk Town. It's a UNESCO heritage site and a spectacular Croatian island town. Narrow cobbled streets, hanging baskets, flowers in the windows, and we'll learn a little bit about the fishing village, fishing town of Kirk. After that, we'll head into the wine growing region, and this is the Zlatina, golden grape. Zlatina is gold, and we're going to learn about these Zlatina grapes, which is known on Kirk. And yes, again, we'll be visiting a local family-run vineyard. We'll be learning about their wines. We'll have a tasting. We'll have something to eat, some cured hams, some cheeses, cured meats, and such things as that. Back to Opatia that evening, rest up, take it easy, and before we know it, we'll spend 5 nights in Opatia itself. And the next day, we'll be heading back up into the mountains. We could go all the way down the coastline, but it's quicker in today's age to go back into the mountains and then head to Plitvice. Plitvice Lakes is the first and the largest national park in Croatia, and it's known for its waters, its fountains, and its crystal clear lakes. If anybody has any walking issues or anything such as that, yes, we do need to go down to the valley floor, and it is a zigzag path. It's relatively not many steps because it's a zigzag path. But what we're looking at here, if you wish to, is what you can see without any walking at all. And you can, at the side of the gift shop is where we're stood right now. At the side of the gift shop is a coffee shop. So you don't have to do the walk if you wish. I highly recommend you do it because it is spectacular. But if you feel you can't, then you can get a cappuccino, a slice of that cake I mentioned earlier, and just wait for him to come back. But this is what you're going to experience. Over the years, calcium-rich water has deposited on rocks and made these waterfalls. And it's a mix of soil walkways, level walkways, and raised wooden walkways that you go along as you wander through the park itself. We cater to the mature American traveler, so you don't need a backpack or a yak to do this. So it's easily walkable. But if you wish to, as I said, I'm always very frank in conversations. If you want to just take it easy at the coffee bar, you can do so. One of the waterfalls here, it's almost 360 degrees because the water comes down and then there's a big, almost big eye with a little sliver cut out where the river comes in, and it goes all the way around this big semicircular area. We'll continue after Plitvice Lakes, arriving into Split, home of the Diocletian's Palace. This picture is taken from the tower on top of the Diocletian's Palace itself, and here is that tower itself. We're here for 2 nights. Anybody interested, you can go to the top of that. I only made it to the first set of windows right there, because it gets into a spiral staircase after that, and I have no clue. Yeah, you're 100% right. I try it every time, and I fail at the same step every time. But it does, supposedly, it has great views at the very top, but I'm never going to see that, unless one of you takes my camera up. Rest up, take it easy in the hotel. The next day we've got our Split and Diocletian's Palace tour. And here we are downtown Split. Now we've got palm trees in Opatia, but now we're coming into more of a Mediterranean, home of the Dalmatian dog is here. So we're in the part of the Dalmatian coast now. And here we are at the Diocletian's Palace. When Emperor Diocletian built this place, this is what he had. It's been expanded on it after his death because he was a really unusual character. He was convinced that somebody was going to assassinate him in Rome. I wonder why. But he moved the entire empire out to Split, which was not Croatia at that time. It was Italy and part of the Roman Empire. Marco Polo, anybody interested? Yeah, they have an argument between Croatia and Italy because Marco Polo is supposedly Croatian. Because he was born on an island just away from Split. Now, it was part of Italy when he was born, so who knows what it was. Excuse me. This is the Diocletian's palace today. So now you can see why, excuse me, the Game of Thrones positioned itself in Split and in Dubrovnik. The walls are all intact. The main entrances are all intact. As we wander through the narrow cobbled streets, all original stone. It is spectacular. We'll start on that promenade just above the water line there where those trees are, and we'll wander there. And we're going to go underneath the Diocletian's palace first. But here we are inside the Diocletian's palace. And this is a living, working city again. We can see Roman statues carved into the wall. We're looking at the silver gate right there to the underneath the clock tower there. That was one of the main gates that would close in the evening during Diocletian's time. You'll find aqueducts that still pump water into houses left over from Roman times here. And we'll continue into the Diocletian's main entranceway here. Now, this was part of the Roman Empire, so you'll find statues from all over the world. You really can't see it too well, but right there, you'll see a black thing right there. There's a Sphinx from Egypt, because, yeah, the Romans were in Egypt too, and Diocletian brought artifacts from all over the world to his palace. And here we are in that main palace area. Again, if you wish to go to the top of that tower. We'll go underneath the tower as well. And here we are underneath the palace. Now, this was the catacombs and people lived here, lots of shops here during the height of the Diocletian's palace. But over the years, it became the trash, the dump. So you'll see holes in the ceilings. You see little black. You'll think, well, those are vandals that have just done that over the last X amount of years. No, that was left. That was the trash chute. So they dropped the trash into the basement, and over the years it built up and protected the entire underneath and the catacomb areas with the trash. They cleaned out most of the trash from underneath. Still a couple of areas that haven't, but yes, you'll still see Diocletian underneath there too. After the Split tour, the Diocletian palace tour will continue on to Trogia. Trogia is a Dalmatian walled Roman city. And you can see it's a beautiful place. It's a very small place, but we head through the main Roman gates, again, through into the narrow streets where everybody sees everything, into the main square. Here I am, trying to get to the top of one of those square towers again. You can see the terror on my eyes, on my face. But you never know who you see from the top of those towers. Even when I took the whole counter, right at the bottom of it. We'll continue on in and around Trogia. We're lucky we'll see the school kids playing on their school field, which is the harbour. That's their playing field. It's the harbour by the boats there. And then we'll come back to Split that evening, and it'll be a last night in Split. Maybe head back into one of the restaurants in the Diocletian's palace area, or even in Split as a whole. Some of their typical seafoods and such as that. And before we know it, day 9 will be upon us, and out of Split, we'll be heading back to the US with memories of a beautiful Croatian and Mediterranean world, with a warm and inviting, friendly people of traditions and cultures far different than Connecticut. Great food and great service also in Croatia. Now, what do we get for the price of the trip? We believe you get quite a lot on this particular program. You get round trip air out of New York. We've got first class hotels for 7 nights in Opatia and in Split. We've got daily breakfasts, whether it's buffet or plated, and 3 dinners. We've got all of your sightseeing if you sign up by March the 29th, except one day. The only one is the Venice tour. But you've got Opatia and Mostionice. You've got an island of Kirk, you've got Plitvice, you've got Pula and Rovine, you've got Split, and you've got Trogir included. You've got a Quest Voyager tour director on the program from arriving in Zagreb all the way to saying goodbye in Split. You've got our Discovery series, which is olive oil, which is the old press with a spot of alcohol in Mostionice. And you've got wine and cheeses and meats on the island of Kirk. Deluxe air-conditioned motor coaches and baggage handling and transfers for 1 piece of luggage. All this for $35.99 per person, double occupancy. I hope you agree with me, tremendous value for everything that you're getting on this program. If you would like to go single supplement, that's an additional $6.99, and for $6.99 you can watch whatever you want to on the TV set. No arguments for that. It is an early bird deadline. As long as you reserve by March the 29th, that's the price you pay. And you get the Polo and Ravine tour included. After the 29th, it goes up by $100, and it costs, if you want to go to Polo and Ravine, it's $129. So signing up before this saves you $229 a person. It's a great thing to do. Better to be in your pocket than in our pockets. Okay, so do keep that in mind. Now, about 70% to 75% of all our travelers say, I'm already there, I want to see something more. So we do have a 3-night extension. Usually it's a 2-night extension, but we've got a 3-night extension on this one, and it's to Dubrovnik. Dubrovnik is by far the best preserved medieval walled city in the world. It is spectacular. The walls have been painstakingly repaired over decades. And if you wish, you can wander them. There's a lot of steps, but you can wander them. But it is a fully restored walled city. And when you get inside there too, it is beautiful inside the section. We're looking at the main harbor and the main ramparts there. Now, what do you get on the program? You get 3 nights in a first-class hotel. Now, if I go back again, you'll see this is a UNESCO heritage site. There are no hotels in that walled city. It's just not possible. So we'll be staying over towards those green areas at the back of the old city itself. Around the port district is the main port, not the ancient port which you're looking at. That's where our hotels lie. We'll have daily breakfast, which is 3 breakfasts. We've got a tour of Mostar, which we haven't come to yet, and the Turkish house, which is good Turkish history. We've got a Dubrovnik tour with a walking tour with entrance into the Dominican monastery and the pharmacy. Our tour director will continue on with you. We've got the driver that will continue on with you. We've got baggage handling. The price is an additional $7.99 per person, double occupancy, or an addition. So it brings it up to what, 9? That's 1,098 as a single person. We'll leave Split behind, and we'll head to Mostar. And here we are in Mostar. This is the famous Nerva River. Mostar is known for its Turkish history. And we're looking at the Turkish bridge there of Mostar. This bridge is a piece of marble and engineering. There are no scaffoldings, there's no arch, there's only one arch. Each stone holds the next stone in place. Anybody been to Acapulco? This is the local equivalent of the cliff divers. So they dive off the bridge itself into the river down below. They may not be doing it in October, but depends how the season's been. But yes, we'll wander across the bridge and just view this bridge. I mean, it's an awe-inspiring place. We'll continue on to the Turkish house. Anybody been to Turkey before? You'll see now we're into the Ottoman style architecture. A lot of those onion domes, a lot of those orchid shapes throughout the area. And we'll head into the Turkish house where we'll see a little bit about Turkish way of life, sample some Turkish coffee at the Turkish house, which you don't need, really, it's that strong and that thick. The spoon stands up in it without you having to do anything. It's like concrete. After that, we'll have a bit of free time. Buy your Turkish lamps. Those Turkish lamps are fabulous. Get that belly dancing outfit, ladies, that you've always wanted. All there and then before continuing on to the southern zone of the Dalmatian coast and into Dubrovnik. Relax, take it easy, and yes, here we are now in Dubrovnik itself. Day 10, we'll have our included Dubrovnik city tour, where our coach will take us from our hotel into the walled city itself. We'll go through the main doors itself and wander down streets that haven't changed in centuries. Stone floors that have been worn shiny over centuries of people walking on top of them. And here you can see, as we go through the main entrance, you can see that those floors will continue into the main shopping area called the Corso, and into Rector's Palace, where we'll be learning a little bit about the monks and continuing on to the Franciscan pharmacy, one of the oldest pharmacies in Europe. Orlando's column is here, and then we'll end our tour in the main harbor itself. If you wish, you can stay there, maybe take a boat ride around the walled section itself. If you wish, we don't include walking the walls because, yeah, these were built in medieval times, so there's no lifts, so there's no moving walkways. You do have to walk the steps. So if you wish to, our tour director will be able to show you how to do that. Or you can stay around and drink some coffee, have something to eat, or come back to the hotel with us. Just some free time to take it easy. And here's the backside of Dubrovnik. Again, you can see the wall goes all the way around. Some free time to wander. Day 11, we'll find ourselves on a free day. You have your concierge with you, your private concierge. Your Croatian tour director, as I mentioned earlier, has forgotten more about this destination than we'll ever know. They'll be able to tell you how to get from point A to point B. If you want to take that boat ride around the walled city, they'll be able to show you how to do that. Or if you want to be on the go and to see another country, we're now going to Montenegro. Montenegro is the fjords of southern Europe. If you've been to Norway, you've done the northern Europe fjords. Now we're in the southern fjords. And Kotor, Sveti Stefan, the Bay of Kotor is all that, and this is what you'll see. Spectacular high mountains, sheer cliffs plunging down to the ocean. Just a little bit like, well, if you've been to New Zealand too, very similar to those fjords too. And here we are in the Bay of Kotor. You might find the odd cruise ships, because cruise ships do come in here because of its beauty and turn around and head back out. We'll have a small boat ride. We'll go across to Sveti Stefan, which is a quintessential Montenegrin island with a village on it. And before we know it, we'll have spent 3 nights in Dubrovnik, and we'll be on day 12. We'll be coming back to Dubrovnik. We're going to Dubrovnik Airport for our flight back to New York. As I mentioned earlier, ease of travel, no visas are required on any of this program. So just a passport with between 3, I always recommend 6 months left on your passport, just in case, and 2 blank pages. That's all you need for this particular program. We're on the Euro in Croatia throughout, so it's an ease of travel. In Italy, we're on the Euro. Now, how do we sign up for the trip? It's really easy, and it's using either the brochure that was emailed to you or going on the the Chamber's website and seeing the booking page. If this brochure that's in front of you, which I'm holding up now, if it was emailed to you, you just click on that link right there at the bottom and it will launch this page right here. It's an HTML file, so I'm only showing you a little bit of it there, but it goes through the Chamber's name, the departure date, it goes a little bit about the trip itself, as you see right here, the trip itself, the highlights. We've got Terry's information right here if you need any questions answered, and then we go into the included features, which I didn't include. As you go further down that page, you'll find a full day-to-day with pictures. If you'd like to, just look through the day-to-day there on the computer itself. As we're looking here at the top section, we've got 3 buttons. Now, when we designed our booking engine, we wanted to make it as easy to shop as Amazon. I think the birth rate in the US has dropped, but the amount of Amazon vans has increased. Everywhere you look, you see Amazon vans. You very rarely do you see a pushchair as in today's day and age. But you see those Amazon things everywhere, don't you? So I think we did a good job in making a really, really easy to use booking engine. I just assisted a lady just a moment ago. We had it done in 10 minutes. And I'm going to show you how to do it right now. Now, there's 3 different colors here. We've got, if you wish to, you can click the blue button, and you can download the brochure. Oh, I apologize. No, you can ask a question. You can ask a question, okay? If you wish to. But we've also got Terry, if you want to ask a question too. Straight above that is a gray button. If you want to download the brochure, you can download the brochure online. Please keep in mind though, if you want to download it and keep it on your computer, that's okay. If you want to print it, it's probably best to print this one up. It's the same information, but if you download it off the computer, the pictures become big and you kill a few trees when you print it. Okay, so do keep that in mind. But you can do that if you wish. And then lastly, you can click the green button right there. It says select. By clicking on that, it opens up the order page. And the order page is really easy. It's how many of each. So how many people are going on the main program? Or are you doing single occupancy? How many people on the tours? Now, as we go through this, we'll have an example in a minute, okay? So it always opens up to start with 0, 0, 0, 0, okay? Now, for the sake of this example, I'm hopeful you can see it. Yeah, it says 2, 2, 2, 2. So this program has been designed so that okay, I'm going to click on YouTube right here. This lady and gentleman, whether they're married or not, they are now. This is designed for you two, where there's 2 people in one room and there's only one method of payment. So that payment is going to cover both people. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and we'll come to, you'll understand that a little bit more in a moment. The second one is where I helped the lady a moment ago, was 2 ladies sharing the same room, but 2 different forms of payment. Each wants to make their own payment, whether it be credit card or check. And this is this one. And you'll see here, throughout this is 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay? It'll become apparent in a moment why we do this. So we can associate those 2 ladies or those 2 gents to sharing the same room. Now, please keep in mind that Pooler is included, but if you don't click 1 or 2 people on it, we think you probably don't want to go, or you're violently opposed to going. So please make sure, even though it's free of charge, if you want to go, click that, okay? It won't change anything to the pricing because it's free of charge, and it says it right there, 0. So every time you make an order here, this section is dynamic and it changes. And this section stays with you all the way through the booking process. So you know how much it is, okay? Now, at the bottom, you can, if you wish, you can just make the deposit payment and any option. So it's $800 per person to reserve the space. And if you want the options, we ask you to buy them and pay for them at this time. And that includes the optional extension to Dubrovnik. We're delaying your time. Overseas, we're getting you more hotels, different air schedules, different gateways. Please do sign up for that if you can. As we go through, you can pay just the deposits amount, or you can pay for it all. Please don't worry, you won't be chastised if you pay in full straight away. Okay? And then after that, once you click one of those boxes, you click the green button and on we go. Now, this is the information. This is a little bit more than Amazon now because we've got to take your name, your address, and such things as that. And yes, that's it. It's just a little bit. So let me come over to this one. So you'll see it's a little stars. You can't see them, the color, they're an orangey red. Those are required to book the program. So we've got your name, first name, last name, email address. We've got your name as it appears in your passport. And oh, I apologize. Participant information and a 1 at the side of it. Okay, this is the example of that one lady or that one gent just booking themselves. If it was this couple right here, I gave the example, there'd be a participant information with a 1 on it, and once this was filled out, there'd be a number 2 down here for the second person in the room. But this is, we're only going to have 1 participant because it's that example of 2 people sharing the room, paying by 2 separate credit cards. So it says here, name that appears in your passport, home address, town, city, state, zip code, contact number, date of birth. Now, excuse me, we've got that, yes, everything's here. And these are all the starred sections. Now, why do we ask for your name as it appears in your passport? Because that's the way your airline tickets are written, and it's important to get the right name there, please.
Please.
Now, as we come down to the date of birth, yes. Now we're into room type. If you selected single from the front, it will automatically allow the share. But if you didn't, if you were a double, then it's either double 1 bed or double 2 beds. So in that case of those 2 ladies or maybe 2 gents sharing together, they probably will tick that box right there as it's 2 beds. And then it says, who's the roommate? Who is this person sharing with? So then they'll put that person in there. So now we know the 2 people that's sharing the room. Okay? And so if Jane Smith fills this out and Anne Jones is sharing, she'll put Anne Jones in here. Then Anne Jones will fill one out and put Jane Smith down there. So now we know who's sharing what. As we go to the next section right here. So here we've got the next section of here, and it says now passport number. It's not a starred figure. Why is it not a starred figure? Because you might not have 6 months left on your passport. We don't want to stop you from reserving your trip here and now. Now, your name, unless you got married or unless you specifically change your name of your passport, it won't change. So this one here, your name as it appears on your passport, I forget where it is, it's somewhere there. That will not change, but your passport number will. Your expiration date will. The expiration date will change. So if you've got your passport, it's valid, drop all that information in. If your passport doesn't have 6 months left on it, then just give us your name as it appears in your passport. The next section right here, you can click that box right there, and if you've got a picture of your passport on your computer, it'll open up a window, you'll find out where that picture is, attach it, and then we get a copy of your passport too. It's really easy. Now, we've got a couple of things. And again, like Lynn mentioned a moment ago, people from all over the US travel with Chambers. Okay? And I think you mentioned, Lynn, there's somebody from California. Sometimes people think that we know just because they live in San Francisco that they want air from San Francisco, but don't tell us. So it's important that we know where you want air from. The first box right here is, I'm on the program and air is included out of New York. You tick that box and that's it. We know you're coming with the group. Okay. The next one, no, I need air out of a different gateway. And then you'll tick that box and indicate in notes what that gateway is. Lastly, it doesn't say this word for word, but if you have oodles of air miles, or you got credits with an airline and you want to do your own air, tick that box and you'll get a $800 discount off the price of the trip, and you do your own air. Okay, tick that box right there. Okay, nice and easy. And that is the start section. Notes, anything else you need us to know? Any dietary needs? Drop that in there. If you've got a TSA 3 or a global entry number, drop that in there. And the next one. And then what else have we got? Now, we live in a busy, busy world. Final payment is June the 5th, but we might forget that. So if you wish to, you don't need to remember that. You can tick that box right there and it enrolls you in auto billing. So on June the 5th, automatically you make final payment. You don't have to do that because you can tick that box and say, no, I don't want auto billing. And you'll make it on June the 5th. You'll get reminders, don't worry. You'll get a reminder 2 weeks before that date. You'll get a reminder 7 days before that date. As soon as you make payment, the reminders stop, by the way. You'll get a reminder 3 days before you go if you selected auto billing, because it will tell you, hey, you're going to be automatically charged in 3 days. Do you have the money? Do you have enough on your credit card, or do you have enough in your checking account? Okay. Lastly, the last one is that you've read the terms and conditions and you need to check yes. And that will click in there, and I'll tell you the most important thing about terms and conditions in a moment. Then you go to continue, and then we get into the payment section. Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, all there. Just fill out the credit card information and you can pay by credit card and then press submit. In today's day and age, we've taken the booking experience a little bit further. If you wish to pay by personal check, you don't need to get into the chamber to hand deliver a personal check to Terry. You can make your personal check or your checking account payment directly online. And you'll see right here, it's hard to see, there's a picture of a personal check there, and it shows you where the routing number is and where the account number is there, and you'll just fill out that section and press confirm booking. Okay? And it's nice and easy. As soon as you do this, as soon as you press and I'm nearly finished, I'll stop talking in a minute. So as soon as you press that, you will get a pop-up appears. And that pop-up on your computer will say, thank you for booking. If you need any further questions, answer it. Here's Terry. And it'll go through everything. It'll go through your invoice. It's all there. Okay. If you have spam blocking or pop-up blocking, don't worry, because you get an email. Immediately, you're talking to a computer. So it didn't go for lunch. It didn't go to the bathroom. It's working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So an email will come to you. If it's not there within 20 seconds, it's in your spam. Okay? So do keep that in mind. And lastly, when you see your invoice, your invoice on your credit card, your statement on your credit card or your bank, it doesn't come from Quest Voyager. Our merchant account is We Travel. So look for We Travel. So if you see that, yeah, your credit card wasn't stolen, it is us through that. Now, lastly, as I mentioned, when you click that confirmation, either from the pop-up or from the email, you get a little blue button to press. And that's about travel insurance. If you listened to me before, I'm a broken record, right? And I always take out travel insurance. I'll be in the Cayman Islands tomorrow. I'm only going for 2 days, but I took out travel insurance because I have to, because I've seen what happens. Usually the times you don't take it out is the time you need it. And I highly encourage you to take it out and hope you waste your money. When you click on that button, whether it's from the pop-up or from the email, This appears, and you'll just put in departure date. Here, you'll put in your state of residency, Connecticut, then we're going to Croatia, departure date, return date, the date you made your initial deposit, and June the 5th right here, and your date your date of birth. Okay, and then after that, there, like you've had it before with us, there's standard insurance, which is cancelled for a reason. The reason is medical, death, or an accident of you or an immediate family member. It covers trip interruptions, travel delays, disconnections, baggage handling, baggage delays, emergency medical and dental. It covers repatriation, accidental death and dismemberment. Don't try them. They're not good options. It also covers pre-existing conditions, 24-hour systems. But if you wish to, for an additional amount, you can take cancel for any reason. Cancel for any reason, and it's exactly as it states. So if you've had a bad haircut and you don't want to be seen in public, you broke a nail, if the dog doesn't want to get it all teary-eyed when he sees you starting a pack and he doesn't want you to go. If you're a lawyer, you've been waiting for the case of a lifetime and it happens during this trip, those are all examples of cancel for any reason. Any reason you can think of is a cancel for any reason, okay? So as long as, and we highly recommend you get the cancel for any reason with the,
I really don't. I'm like, whoa, what in the world?
As long as you do that and you take.
Did he go through?
48 hours, no later than 48 hours before you go.
But I'm happy the guys are coming, and she'll probably have an issue with that too.
From the terms and conditions that you lose, okay?
Because I almost think that she resents anybody who loved him.
You get 100%. I have to say you should get 100% because I'm not the insurance. But you should, if it be a doctor that said you can't go.
Right, okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, now, those are the questions, those are the things. And any questions? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So what time does the tour start? Whether they're included, whether they are optional.
Okay.
We leave that to the. I'm going to give you an approximate time in a minute, but we always leave that to the tour director and coach driver because they're monitoring on a daily basis roadworks, strikes, closures, and such as that. But historically, on this program, it's going to be an 8:30, 9 o'clock departure. The earlier one, which would be the 8 o'clock, would be Venice, because it's a little bit of a longer day. But that's a good idea to give you that you'll be departing on. And back, give or take 3:30, except for Venice, which is going to be just before dinner.
What airlines do you fly?
Yes. So the airlines, I'm quite frank about it. The airlines don't know where they're flying tomorrow, never mind in October. So this program is historically a Star Alliance program. So it's a United, it's a Lufthansa, it's a Swiss Air, Austrian, or Turkish. They all belong to the same club. So it's it will be one of those carriers, I believe. But they're changing all the time. And the reason we don't give, if you've traveled with us before, you know that the reason we don't give it is because our entire life would be giving you changes. They change so much. So you'll get to know exactly the schedule and the airline about 45 days before. And then they can't really change it.
What's the weather like?
The weather. So what's the weather like in Croatia this time? If I could tell you that accurately, I wouldn't be stood here today because I'd know the lottery tickets every week. But if I go on history, this is the further south we go, the slightly warmer it gets. Okay. So what you'll find in this particular time of year in Opatia, you're going to be in those mid-60s, low to mid-60s. If we can get a 70, overjoyed. We were there in December, right, Lynn, and it wasn't too, I mean, we were in December and it was light jacket. And when we went to Blitzer, yeah, it was a little bit cooler, and it rained, but that's December.
No snow.
There was some snow in December, but not during this time of year. There shouldn't be. So it's in that 65, 60, 65 in the day, dropping down into the mid to high 40s in the evening. As we go further down the coast, a couple of degrees here, a couple of degrees higher, it should be. Yes.
What happens if there is 60 minutes? Actually, when
What happens if this what?
What happens if there is not a 60 minimum?
We don't have a 60 minimum. So that it's expected every year there's 60, 65 people, which is 2 buses. So, so in all aspects, let's just say 30 to 32 and a half, whoever wants to debate themselves, please feel free to do so. But somewhere in that scenario, now, I'm a big believer, you know, our buses over in Croatia hold between 45 and 48 people. We don't put more than 42 on a bus. Right now, yes, we'll be looking at 1 bus. If all of a sudden everybody signs up, and usually this is what happens, everybody signs up straight after this meeting, then we're already in a 2 bus quite quickly. But what we do is we go with 1 bus, and we then have to go into a wait list until we have enough people to open up a 2nd bus. So if you want to make sure you're on the 1st bus, do sign up sooner than later. Now, I gave you an example, and thank you for asking this because it brings into the next question. The next thing that we haven't asked yet. But we talked about insurance. That protects you for the trip. It costs money, however, but we give you something free of charge that allows you peace of mind, to allow you to put X on the calendar, and I'm going to Croatia with Lynn, Fraser, and Terry in October. And that's from the day that you book all the way up to 131 days before you go, you get a free money back guarantee. Okay, all you have to do, and that's on the terms and conditions. It's clearly listed in the terms and conditions. Whatever reason, it doesn't. We don't need a reason. You just have it. You've got that guarantee. You'll just send an email through to Terry, and then she'll send it on to us, and we will initiate the process to get you cancelled out and refunded. So there's no reason why you couldn't anytime just get yourself on the trip, get on the 1st bus, because each year historically here somebody procrastinates too long and the buses are sold. Okay. Did that answer all the questions? One additional one you didn't ask.
If you have 60 people, do you have 2 tour guides then?
We do. We have two tour guides, 2 bus drivers, and 2 local guides whenever we need them. Yes.
Hotels.
Yeah.
When we know exactly which hotel you're staying in, do you have like a list of like 5 that you use so that we know in advance?
We have a couple in Opatija. I think on this one we're using the Bristol Hotel, which is an Austro-Hungarian hotel. Right in front of the main botanical gardens, right in the middle of the shopping. I'm not quite sure what we got in Split, but I'm virtually certain it's the Bristol Hotel. In Opatija. So we probably know it right now. We always have to say subject to change just in case they go into renovation and such things as that. The Dubrovnik one will have to. Don't know. Yes.
How long are some of the bus rides?
Yeah, great question. How long are some of the bus rides? So there's nothing too long on this program. The lengthiest day is Venice. Okay, and the Venice tour, let's say we're going to be leaving round about 8 in the morning after breakfast, and we're going to be coming back, give or take, 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. So that's a full day. Historically, our day tours on full day format go from 8, 9 o'clock in the morning till 3:30.
Like 2 hours to Venice, 4 hours?
It's just over 2 hours to Venice. Yeah, just over 2 hours to Venice. Yes, in each direction. Huh?
It's what, like 4 hours?
Well, Split, don't forget, going to Split, we go via Plitvice Lake. So it's a full day tour, but there's nothing to, if we go from Opatia through to Plitvice Lakes, it's about 2 hours. We'll be into Split, into Plitvice, we'll do the touring there. From Plitvice, we go and have lunch in a small village, and then we continue on. So there's nothing too strenuous on anywhere else on the program. Venice is the longest day as well. Worth to go, because it is relatively close by, but that's the longest day. Yes.
You know what the approximate additional cost is for the Venice portion?
Well, $199. Yes.
Gratuity.
Yes. Yes. Well, you're asking the wrong person. You know, the joke about what's the difference between a canoe and an Englishman? You know that? A canoe can tip. But having said that, I know the answer. I have been here too long. This country, a tip left, right, and centre now. So if you haven't travelled with the chamber before, we'll have another one of these events. Usually in this room, and I'm at this podium again, we'll go through all the things about the flights, the hotels, the currency, credit cards, tipping, and such things as that. But as you ask the question, I'll answer it. So tipping is a personal item. We don't include it, but you can tip either more or less of this. But for the tour director, it's between 8 and 10 euros per person per day, and for the driver, 5 or 6 euros per person. Okay, and that's tipped at the end of your stay, whether it's in euros, whether it's in US dollars, whether it's a mix of both. That's up to you. Yes.
Is there a dress code for any of the places that we're going?
So is there a dress code? No, as long as you're wearing clothing, you should be okay. Even some of the places, the further you go south, it's optional, even though October may not be, but there's lots of nudist beaches as you get closer. And anybody interested, I do rent binoculars.
But on that, will we be going to any of the churches where we might want?
The only, those Italians can, in churches can sometimes, that Catholic faith can sometimes get a little bit limiting. So, no, not really. Anywhere in Croatia, no, not at all. The only one that I would be questioning is, in Venice, and our tour director will let you know way in advance on that, company. But it basically, and frankly, comfortable clothing, layered clothing, a nice pair of, shoes, whether it's Rockport or those sneaker types, the running type walking shoes, jeans, khaki style trousers, and that's the best thing to do. And nothing, no ski jackets, no Afghans or anything like that. Just, hoodies, like jackets, quilted jackets, something like that.
How do they feel about the dollar?
How does the Croatian people or even the Venetians think about using the dollar? It's individual, and I can't give you a across the board answer to that. One of the things is how much are you spending? Because they'll bend backwards if you're spending a lot. If it's not, then they may or may not. I strongly encourage and to have euros with you throughout. And the ATMs are everywhere around here. So you can get euros anywhere. If you feel naked, landing in Zagreb without euros, grab some from the local bank here and take $100 or so worth of euros with you. But, some may take dollars, some may not. The tour director and driver, they're used to that. They'll take it as part of the tip. Without a doubt.
If you are a traveling couple, is everybody really on the same flight and will everybody be in the same hotel?
So-
Or maybe split?
So if somebody is traveling with family members or friends, in that notes section, on the booking section, you can just put in there, traveling with their name and have them do the same with you.
So there could be more than one hotel.
No, there won't be more than one hotel, there shouldn't be more than one flight, but we might be able to we can't get rooms next, there are no adjoining rooms. These buildings were not built as hotels, most of them were built as, large villas or something like that. So there aren't too many adjoining rooms, but we might be able to get close.
And may I jump in on that? When we do get to 2 buses, that is where we'll be splitting people. So if you are traveling with the Joneses, let us know so that you're in the same group. But that's a very simple process.
Yeah.
It's something that we do on our end.
But if you do put that in notes, then Terry will also do that.
Correct.
Yeah.
But if you forget to, call me, send me an email.
Any other questions? Yes.
On day of arrival, after the bus brings us, to the first, there's no tours or anything, are we going right to the hotel?
So that day, yeah, I'm gonna say, let's just say you land at 1 o'clock. By the time, it's a small airport, but by the time you get out of the airport, 2:15 on the bus, you got about a 2.5 hour drive. You're gonna arrive roundabout just before dinner time or roundabout dinner time. Have you check in, rest up, get a shower, maybe change your socks, and then go and have dinner, and then go out and get out. Don't go to bed that first night. Go and get some great Istrian beers, dark beers, light beers. They have some wonderful beers, gents, ladies. They have some wonderful wines. And go out and experience some, and then go to bed at about 9:30, 10 o'clock. Next question. Any? No? Or,
This
yeah.
one's more for.
You're on the roll now, aren't you?
Yep. Being that we're flying out of New York, is there going to be transportation? I assume for an additional fee?
Yes,
you know,
yes,
a
for an
bus to
additional
New York?
fee, we will arrange that. Generally, we take that, there's a park and ride almost across the street from here. So we do, here, I'm gonna stand up, sorry. We do arrange a coach bus, hopefully, definitely 2, when we're split into 2 groups. And I will kind of communicate all of that with you, exactly how much that's gonna cost per person. We like that because then we start the vacation here. You don't have to pay tolls, you don't have to pay parking, you don't have to pay Uber all the way to JFK. It's the one catch though, at the park and ride, there is no overnight parking. So someone needs to drop you off and pick you up.
If they like you.
Please have them pick you up. I will not be driving you home at the end of the trip, just. But that is something that we do arrange, and we let you know far in advance and how much that'll, and it's nominal. It's way cheaper than parking will be.
Worried about driving down there.
Yeah, no, that's, and then you get to start that vacation here.
Yes.
How long is the flight?
Yeah, so again, if I use again, there are no non-stops out of New York into Zagreb. So we're going to have a 6-7 hour or so into maybe a Frankfurt, a Zurich or something like that. And then, somewhere around about a 2-hour flight after that, up and down. That gives you a rough idea. So, yeah, nothing too long and strenuous, but it's not, it's usually in an 8.5 hours over there. I apologize, I said 6 or 7. It's an 8.5 hours over there, and then a connection and onwards after that. Which is kind of decent because it gives you enough time to sleep if you can.
And the layover won't be super long, or?
The layover will be, historically, today's day and age, our optimum layovers are 3 hours. That's what we want. Any other questions?
Bathrooms on the bus, right?
Bathrooms not always on the bus. Not always. We're so other bathrooms on the bus, again, I'm very frank to set expectations. There may be bathrooms on the bus because it comes part of a package. It's like, you know, the vinyl top car that you get. You didn't really want vinyl top, but it was part of the package. The bus, it might have a bathroom in there because it's sold throughout Europe. But the problem with Croatia is it's an eco-friendly destination. They may not have on every day the ability to empty it. So the driver will be able to let you know. If we can't, then we'll be stopping every, 2 hours. If needed before that, we'll stop before that. But you'll be stopping for coffee, a slice of cake, a cigarette, if anybody still smokes. Because every driver in Europe smokes, so he'll be stopping quite often for that. And you can drum up a friendship with your driver as you have a cigarette. Yes.
So we're doing a connection in someplace in Zurich or something like that. We're gonna be going to a different plane.
Yes.
The connection in the moving the luggage.
Yeah. So there will be a connection from New York into another gateway and then onwards, but your luggage will be taken care of all the way from New York, all the way to the final destination. Okay, yes. So you won't have to pick it up and go through customs in that interim gateway.
I'm assuming this is right, but I just want to ask, do you have like the earpieces where you can hear the guides?
So, yes, on this particular program, we do have the earpieces so you can hear the guys. And those are good things also if you get lost, you can use them to listen. And there's no signal over here, but I can hear them over there. You got that direction. Yes? Yeah. Any other questions? At that, thank you for coming. I'm here if you want to have any other questions answered. If you didn't want to shout it out in front of everybody, we certainly hope you'll come. Use that 131 days before you go. Money back guarantee to get yourself on the first bus. Thank you very much.
Experience Croatia with the Waterbury Regional Chamber Travel Program. Your adventure awaits.